The following training is brought to you by the Niagara Library System. We serve our member libraries in Niagara, Orleans, and Genesee counties. Visit your local library homepage and use your library card to get access to streaming videos, downloadable music, audiobooks, ebooks, and even more from the comfort of your own home. Thank you.
Hello. So today we are going to talk about being a positive communicator. And in these times, in all times, it's really good and really important that we try to be positive, even when you're framing negative things. Now the other thing, there's a couple things, of course, that I had read, and I have my references here on the site, and I'll put them in the description of the video. One of the things I had read, and I will try and find the reference for this, is the old tell them something positive and then tell them the negative thing and then tell them something positive is kind of it's a frowned upon way of communicating nowadays. So if you really want to be a positive communicator, let's try and take some good steps towards that, okay? So before I get to my references, I will say this. It's always good to know what your policies are and understand what your management team would actually like from you. If you're asked a question, regardless of who asks, you can be sure then that your answer is actually in line with your organization's policies, both formal and informal. So whatever's written down as well as the culture of the organization. Okay? So on to the articles. Betty Locker lists 10 ways to be a more positive communicator, and she just kind of lists these out. She doesn't go into great detail about them, but that's okay. I've got more stuff on that. She says one of the most powerful ways to improve relationships is to simply be a more positive communicator. Positive communication is contagious and brings out the best in yourself and in those around you. The following is an excerpt from her book, Dancing with Strangers, and she puts the concept to work. Think before you speak or act. Keep an open mind. Discuss rather than argue. Cultivate a soothing voice. Think like morning radio DJ or something like that, I don't know, or late night DJ. Never lose an opportunity to praise or say a kind word. Exceed expectations. Learn to be objective about personal criticism. Respect the feelings of others. Refuse to discuss the shortcomings of others. And let your virtues speak for themselves. Now, in another article, so that was kind of the overarching ideas. And in another article, M.T. Wroblewski writes several items here, including this. They talk about framing messages in a positive, not negative way. Sometimes it pays to be on the receiving end of a directive to understand the difference between saying, stop coming into work late every day, and please make sure you're here on time every day. The first message sounds scolding. The second sounds more pleasant, also makes the bigger point about punctuality. People tend to focus on the negative and feel negatively after. Our brains are wired to remember the negative. Ugh. When they hear words stop and don't, you can see the difference in saying don't leave the folders strewn all over the conference table and please clear the conference table after meetings. To the recipient of the message, the second choice is the positive and constructive one. You should be brief and specific. Communication often runs off the rails when people run off the mouth, or they use vague language. Extra words can weigh down a message, diluting it of its power and positivity, which is another reason too why I always have the scripts. I mean, I'm scrolling through these on the screen and you can see them for yourself, but the scripts are really important, okay? And you can offer an empathetic statement. Acknowledging someone else's feelings or point of view does more than diffuse tension. It signals that as a boss, you feel genuine concern for your employees. And this goes for any level of management, one way or another, okay? You might help reduce anxiety by setting clear expectations. Start out informatively. Public speaker Dr. John Lund maintains that 3 thoughts go through the minds of people as you start a conversation with them. Is the topic painful? How long will it take? And what do you want from me? These thoughts may not sound very positive, but you can reduce these anxiety-ridden thoughts and realign expectations by saying, I hope I haven't caught you at a bad time, but I'm hoping for 5 minutes of your time to tell you about, or I realize you're busy, but I'd like to take 10 minutes to fill you in about. It's more than good advice for you. It's good advice for anyone in your business who makes any outreach efforts as well. Present a completely positive package. A person's sensory skills go into virtual overdrive when someone starts a conversation. In fact, Lund suggests that spoken words have little to do with the way people interpret a message. 55% of people scan facial expressions and body language. 37% of people listen to the tone of voice. 8% of people focus on the words. The upshot: smile more when you communicate and use a calm and relaxed tone of voice. If your phone voice needs help, Lund suggests keeping a mirror near your desk so that you can glimpse yourself while you talk. Smiles don't always have to be seen to be heard. There's more good stuff in that article, but let me point out a couple of points from the Shine blog team, which was the third article that I have. Look at the positive aspects. There may be things that come loaded with negative elements. However, there may be something positive about them, sometimes very minute. Try to find these positive aspects and include them in your conversation. Also, having a positive attitude and outlook is important. For example, if someone comes to you with a job that you do not have the time to take up just then, instead of refusing outright, tell the person that you're busy right now, but you'll take it up as soon as you get free. You can suggest alternates and solutions for things that cannot be done due to some reasons. Try to analyze the situation and suggest alternates and solutions. An outright rejection is comparatively easier, but it does not solve the purpose. Suggesting these alternates establishes you as a person who is willing to go that extra mile to get things done. That includes, in the top 10 that we talked about, exceeding expectations. Okay? Avoid force and coercion. When asking someone to do a task or refusing a task, try to sound as polite as possible. Sentences that you use words like you should or you shouldn't, you must or you mustn't, sound impolite and forceful. Nobody likes to be forced to do anything. Try to tone it down a bit and use phrases like can we, etc. This does not only sound positive, but it also motivating for the recipients. So you should sound helpful. Nothing can sound more positive than the voice that ensures help. So I hope these are helpful for you. And if you have comments or suggestions, please like, comment, and share. Shoot me an email. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks.